And will they see me the whole time?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to give it just another minute or two to get folks the chance to get in.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Lois.
We
Hi,
will.
Linda.
Is RJ going today?
Are you going to Montreal?
And RJ's her nephew.
And
Yeah,
RJ?
DJ's going too. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody for the time being. And it looks like we've got a couple people who are still joining via audio. So I'm going to go ahead and monitor the chat. So if anybody has questions throughout, they are just chomping at the bit to ask, please go ahead and type those into the chat. Or you can certainly wait, and then we'll get to a place where we'll do some live Q&A, and you'll be able to unmute your phone and ask Pat any questions that you have, okay? And without further ado, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Pat Sinfici from Bosco's Travel.
No. Yep. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's good to see you all. I get to talk to you, obviously, about your Montreal and Quebec Christmas markets trip. Hopefully, you have your information in front of you. Yes? Yeah? Okay. So you have something called the general itinerary. I'm going to show it on your screen. Okay. So first up is the general itinerary. Now, they're actually, the general itinerary is for the people who are traveling basically on the motor coach from Maryland Public Television to the airport. Then you have different other itineraries. Some of you are coming out of different air cities, but basically the information as far as tickets and protocols and things like that will remain the same. So first of all, your tour director's name is Karen Hyde. She will meet you when you arrive in Montreal. And your MPT Travel Club representative is Linda Tiger. So you really have some, a good team there. So for those of you who are going on the motor coach on Wednesday, December 4, we ask you to meet at the Maryland Public Television, park in the first parking lot on the left, opposite the entrance to the building at 3:30 a.m. Okay, we're going to get you up early, and then the motor coach will depart promptly at 4. I'm going to ask you to keep your carry-ons with you, take your big bags, your checked luggage, and just deposit that with the motor coach driver, and he or she will see that it is loaded into the belly of the bus. And if you would check in with Linda, she will have her name list to check you off and be certain that you are all present and accounted for. Okay. So if you have any problems on the day of departure, and hopefully you're following me on the itinerary, you can call our emergency number. It's listed here at 610-779-8640. And then basically you can call that number, and then we would be in touch with Linda and Karen, and certainly try to assist you in any way. I'm going to show you the next information. For those of you who are parking at MPT, we need you to provide this information. And we would ask that you email this form to grouptravel@boscovs.com. You have one of these forms in your document kit. And if you could do that, or you phone your MPT travel advisor at the number listed there. But we need that to provide that to MPT for security. And then here's an aerial view of the parking lot and where you would park. All right. So when you arrive at Dulles, we estimate your arrival at Dulles at around 5:30 a.m. For those of you who are meeting the group at Dulles, we would ask you that you would be there at 5:30 a.m. For those of you who are flying in from different cities, we suggest that you get to the airport since it's an international flight, at least 3 hours prior to flight time. For those of you who are arriving on the coach, we're going to ask you to remain on the coach. The driver will unload your luggage, your large luggage. Then you will claim your luggage, get off the coach, and then check in the group flying on United Airlines. Now, you will need to have your electronic airline ticket. And here's a sample shown. You each have one of these in your kit, and it is specific to the itinerary that you chose. I want to be sure that you look at the name on the ticket and be sure it matches what your passport says, so that it was given to us correctly and we ticketed it correctly. If it does not match, I need you to call your MPT travel advisor. You've dealt with them, Michelle, and that whole team in that location, in our location up in Easton, and tell them that there's name corrections. If you don't need any name corrections, then just be sure that you have this available and your valid passport available when you check in with United Airlines, okay? So, next page of the itinerary, for those of you who are flying out of Dulles, that flight is United, leaving at 8:29 in the morning, nonstop into Montreal at 10:20, coming home out of Quebec at 11:49 in the morning, arriving into Newark, New Jersey at 1:48 p.m. Let me tell you why we are terminating that flight in Newark. You were originally scheduled to come back into Dulles. United Airlines had a major schedule change. It was a terrible schedule change. You would have been sitting literally in, basically in Newark for 7 hours. It was a very, very long layover. There was no other choice. So what is very, very important was that we do something and had to action it. So we basically are taking you, obviously, into Newark at 1:48 p.m. You arrive there, there will be a motor coach waiting, and the drive from Newark back to Owings Mills is a lot less than 7 hours. So we felt that was the best solution. Now, what's very, very important also is that you understand that not Maryland Public Television nor Boscov's Travel had the opportunity to change that. This was the best solution, and unfortunately, airlines have the right to do that. Now, very importantly also, and this is on your itinerary, do not go online and check in prior to your flight, as this is a group booking, and that could result in the cancellation of the entire group. So that's very, very, very important, okay? The other thing, very importantly, is that you must carry your valid passport book, not a card. If you're flying out of the country, it must be a passport book. And we recommend that you take a picture of the face page, your picture on the passport, of the passport page, and store it on your cell phone, so that if something would happen, you would lose it. It would be much easier for us to assist you and get you an appointment at an embassy to have it replaced, rather than trying from you not having any record of it at all. Also, you have in your kits your baggage tags. They are color coded a certain way. They're color coded for those of you who are on the motor coach. Yours is purple, but the red tag must go on there also. Should be filled out in ballpoint pen, so it does not smear if you do a flare in case there's some rain or something. And it should be affixed. These tags should be affixed to your checked luggage. Okay. All right. Very, very important is that you have both tags, so that the motor coach drivers, the tour directors, all of them can see that these are the luggage that belong to you, to Maryland Public Television. You are allowed one normal size suitcase. The fee is $40 each way. And that's payable to the airline upon check-in. And a piece of luggage. Now, the checked luggage cannot be bigger than 62 linear inches, and that's basically length plus height plus width, and no more than 50 pounds. So, they will charge you overage if you go over. And sometimes they make you take it out and then put it into your carry-on. Yeah. Clothing wise, you in Quebec City and Montreal, it's going to be cool, very cold. So you need to wear casual, comfortable clothes. You should wear shoes or boots with rubber soles because in the old towns of Montreal and Quebec, you're walking on cobblestone streets. And temperature-wise, you are looking at average temperatures in Montreal for early December are a high of 27, a low of 12. Quebec City is high of 23, low of 9. Okay, so you need to dress warm. Also, you have in your kit a lanyard with your name on, and that you can put your passport in there, your room key, whatever. But those should be worn at least while you're on the tour. You don't necessarily need to have them walking around, but at least the tour director is easy. It's easier to, keep you together, obviously, and also know your names because remember, there's one of her and 47 of you. Okay. Motor coach seating wise, at the beginning of the tour, it's basically whoever gets on the coach first, unless you have told us that there is some kind of walking disability or something, you need to be in the front of the coach. If you have not and you have a disability or a walking challenge, then you should really let us know. And then we would alert the tour director. But after that, each day, the seats rotate. Okay. Currency, while you are in Canada, you do not have to change into Canadian dollars. US dollars are very much welcomed. Visa and MasterCard are the most widely accepted forms of payment. American Express, Diners Club, not so much. American Express, yes. Diners Club, not so much. Now, if you're going like into the old town and some of these, like in Quebec, things like that, many of the smaller shops may not take a credit card. So you may want to have a little bit of cash on you to buy some, you may want to see something for Christmas, things like that. Cell phones, basically you should let your cell phone provider know you're traveling to Canada from this state to this state so that they know that you are going internationally. There is an app called WhatsApp. It is a free app. You can find it in your app store on your phone. There are two caveats to it. You can have free texting, free calling. However, the person you are calling must also have WhatsApp in order for that to work, and you have to have access to Wi-Fi in order to use that. As far as the gratuities are concerned, we give you the guideline. It is strictly up to you. It is a personal, if you like the service and you want to tip, that's fine. There are envelopes in the documents, and that's given to basically the tour director and the motor coach driver at the end of the tour. But that is, again, strictly at your discretion. Hotels, you are staying at wonderful hotels, two magnificent hotels, the Fairmont Queen Elizabeth Hotel for 2 nights and the Fairmont Chateau Frontenac for 3 nights. Both of them are outstanding, absolutely amazing experiences. Upon check-in at the hotels, in both cases, they will ask to see your passport and you will have to give an imprint of a credit card. And that's only for incidental expenses. Your room and taxes have already been prepaid. Okay, already been prepaid. So now we're in the air. We're all coming into Montreal, arrival into Montreal, December 4. Basically, you will actually, they have Canada Border Services upon arrival. So they will screen you when you land in Canada. We ask you to best to stay together as a group. Those of you who are on the group flights. And once everyone collects their baggage, you then proceed as a group and head outside to the customs area where you will meet your tour director. You have to go through that customs area. She cannot come in there. So it's like an arrivals hall. And she will be waiting. Karen will be waiting with a sign that says Maryland Public Television and or Boscov's Travel Group. Okay, very important. Excuse me. For those of you who are arriving at different times, you have in your specific itinerary how you're being met and transferred. If you're going in a pre-night, excuse me, then you are on your own to get to the hotel for that additional night which would be December 3rd. Okay. Again, the tour director will meet you. The luggage will be loaded onto the coach, and then you will go to the hotel. It is a 30-minute drive to the hotel. Next. Okay. So in your itinerary, in your documents kit, there is also something that says a complete day-to-day itinerary. This gives you everything that you are doing each day. Please excuse me, sorry. It gives you everything that you are doing each day. However, it doesn't give times. The tour director will tell you each day what time to be where the next morning, where breakfast is, what time you need to be on the coach, what time you need to have your luggage outside your room for pickup. I have personal experience with this particular tour director, and she does an outstanding job. I think you will very, very much like her. So on day 5, if you look at your daily itinerary, you're going to do a wonderful Montreal city tour, and you will have a dinner that evening with the group. And then the next day, December 6th, and we've written this out for you on the itinerary, you're going to go by rail from Montreal to Quebec City. You'll journey via Rail Canada. The scenery between Montreal and Quebec City is amazing. That train ride is anywhere from 3 to 3.5 hours to Quebec. And then upon arrival in Quebec, you will be transferred to the Fairmont Chateau Frontenac. And again, you repeat the check-in process. And then the remainder of the day is yours at leisure to basically explore. And please understand that, again, the tour director will be happy to give you some directions as to where the best places to dine are, some must-sees, things like that. And then once you are in Quebec, for example, December 7th, you have sightseeing in Quebec City, and then December 8th, you're going to have a little bit of leisure time, but then you're going into Old Quebec, which is you will see the Christmas markets there. So that's also a very, very special day. So then also in your kit is some information, some helpful hints. We've basically covered everything pretty much in the itinerary, but certainly you can take a look at that. We do have assigned seats for all of you, so that's on your air itinerary. And if you have any questions after tonight, and if you've put some in the chat, and we will certainly answer them, but you have more questions, certainly call your MPT travel advisor, and they would be happy to help. So on December 9th, breakfast is included, and then basically what will happen is your tour director will tell you, again, what time to have the luggage outside the room. It will be collected, and then what time the coach will transfer you to the Quebec airport. So upon arrival in Quebec, again, you have to take your checked luggage with your airline ticket. That same airline ticket that you came in on is also for the return, and your passport book, and have it readily available for check-in with the airline. Now, Quebec City International Airport does not have a U.S. Customs pre-clearance center. So you will have to clear customs upon arrival back into the United States. So wherever your first point of entry back in, like for the group, it's Newark, some of you who are coming from other cities have connections, that will be the first point of arrival as you land on U.S. soil. You don't have to claim your luggage, but there would be like a secure line that you would go through customs, right? So again, upon arrival at the Newark airport, we ask you again to try to stay together as a group. You'll clear customs and immigration. You basically will very simply show your passport, because you will have done some pre-clearance. No, I'm sorry, you won't have done pre-clearance in Quebec, but you will have to show basically your passport, go through customs and immigration, and then we will have an Academy motor coach waiting for you to take you back to Maryland Public Television. Linda will have the name of the driver, and we will be sending her that information and his number. So when everyone has cleared, she will call the driver to come in with the coach, and then promptly you'll board, and then we estimate you back at Maryland Public Television about 6 o'clock that evening. And then there is another piece of information in your kit. It says Boscov's Travel Protection Plan. If you took the Travel Protection Plan, which is the insurance, basically, you have one of these in your kit. If you did not, then you do not have one. Now, that's just for your records. If you took any type of insurance and you had to use it on the trip for some reason, be absolutely positively certain that you get receipts for everything that you would have to put out of pocket, so that when you came back, our travel advisor could help you file a claim, but without the receipts, the insurance company will not pay that claim. So that's very, very important. And then if you had certainly a real emergency, that you had to come home early, something happened, you would certainly let Linda know and Karen know, but Linda would be in touch with our team here, and we would get you home and do whatever we needed to do. So you have some very good people with you, and plus you have the support of our team here at Boscov's Travel. So in your kit also is general information like the 3-1 rule, what you can carry on board, things like that. Again, some more airline information. So everything that you need for the trip is here. You do not need hotel confirmations unless you're going in on the pre-night. And everything is obviously prepaid as far as the tour is concerned and what was included in the tour. This is a wonderful program. We have done it many times for many groups. They have come back absolutely thrilled. This is the closest you can get to the Christmas markets without flying across the Atlantic and going into Europe. And Karen Hyde does a tremendous job. So again, your itinerary is specific to you, what you chose to do. We're happy we have some people coming in from other places to join the group. And as you know, both Linda and Kristen they do an outstanding job. We love working with them, putting these trips together for you with their guidance. And I think this will be a fabulous, fabulous opportunity for you to see 2 wonderful cities and basically a lot of the old world charm of what like Quebec City is very much like a European city, especially in the old town, in the historic district. Montreal has a very interesting underground. There's a whole city underground in Montreal that basically was created to keep the people who live in Montreal warm in the winter. So you have shops down there, you have industries, you have apartments, you have restaurants, you have entertainment, all kinds of things. So both cities very unique, and you have that wonderful train ride then into Quebec. So it's a great tour. So
Pat, we have a couple of questions in the chat.
okay,
If you're okay, I'll just read them out if you wouldn't mind answering them.
that's fine.
If we have global entry, can we use that in New Jersey on return?
You should be able to. The question would become, did you give us your global entry number? Because that has to be put into the reservation. If you did not, then you need to call your MPG travel advisor and give it to them so we can put it in the reservation. But it also is important to have it in the reservation, but remind the airline when you check in that you have it also, because sometimes they put it in and then they don't scroll down and see it there, if that makes sense.
Right. I have gone ahead and put in Michelle's email and phone number into the chat. So if anybody needs that, I'm happy to read it aloud, but it's there should you want to contact her directly.
Okay. Okay.
Pat, can you please elaborate on allowable carry-ons?
Okay, so the carry-on, actually, if you go to the itinerary, the carry-on luggage has to be a little bit smaller because you are going onto a motor coach, and this is a full motor coach. The carry-on, and there's a headline here, motor coach tour baggage policy. It's one check bag, which you know, but then the carry-on, you are only allowed 31 linear inches, which is length plus height plus width. In the carry-on, whether it's on an airplane or on the motor coach, you should really keep your medicines in there, anything that you would need immediately. You never put your passport in there. You never put money in there, traveler's checks, things like that. That carry-on really should be for anything that you would have immediate needs for. Now, if you're taking big containers of liquids, then that has to go in the checked luggage. And in the kit, we gave you what you can carry on board and the ounces and what you can't. But be aware that I want you to please pay particular attention to the carry-on luggage requirements on the motor coach. That doesn't mean, ladies, you can't have a purse also, or, you know, something like that. But again, on the motor coach space, they're beautiful coaches, but the space tends to be more tight than obviously than if you were, you know, even in an airplane, it's a little bit tighter than that.
I'm going to skip around just because there's a follow-up question that's relevant in this particular case. But the carry-on of one of our travelers, the description meets the size and it has wheels and has fit on a motor coach before in the overhead container. So out of curiosity, are the coaches in Quebec or Montreal, are they different? Is that why the suggestion is written the way that it's written in the paperwork?
It's written that way because many times, and I'm not saying in this instance, but many times when people bring wheeled luggage, it's big.
I see. But so if this particular traveler has had success with this in the past, then she should be fine.
They can try it, and if not, then it would have to go into the belly.
Okay. All right. For those that are getting there on their own, where at Dulles should they meet?
They should go right to the United Airlines ticket counter with their luggage, with their passport, with their airline ticket, and check in there.
Okay. And when we meet at MPT, will we have access to the building or the restrooms? Absolutely. For those of us who have traveled with us before, you know that we typically put out a nice little coffee spread for you because you will be arriving when you're arriving, and I suspect you're going to want to go back to sleep pretty quickly. We're not going to have coffee at 3:30 in the morning for you. I will have some bottled water to kind of, you know, quench your thirst as you're going on your bus ride, but you will be able to come in, use a real bathroom, sit in the lobby if you need to for a few minutes before you actually board the bus to head to Dulles. The doors to MPT will open at 3 for security reasons. We will not be opening the doors before 3 a.m. So please understand that even if you arrive at MPT before 3, I cannot guarantee that you'll be able to get into the lobby. And just to elaborate on that, just for real quickly, when you arrive, Linda and I will both be there. We'll be able to get you your parking pass, which will be sitting on your dashboard for the time that you are gone, and we'll direct you on where exactly to park in the parking lot so that our security guards can see your vehicles at all times. And we do have guards 24/7. One individual said that they do not have a seat assignment for their return flight to Newark. It says check-in required in that area.
Okay, then what I would like that person to do is please call our office, call Michelle, and then pass that information on to her. And then it will come down to our operations divisions, and when we will do our best to get that squared away and call the customer back.
Okay. Real quickly, just so that everybody has it in case you're not in the chat, the phone number is 833-282-8738. I'm going to repeat that. This is to get to Michelle if you have questions or need to make any adjustments. 833-282-8738. Okay. Not doing a checked bag, taking a piece of wheeled luggage to put on the overhead airplane bin plus one personal bag. Will this carry-on luggage go under the bus?
Yes, it will have to go under the bus.
Okay.
If that's that person's, you know, if they're not doing a check bag, then that bag is obviously going to be bigger. That will have to go into the belly of the bus. Yes.
All right. I have a flight out from Quebec at 5 a.m. Will you get me to the airport?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. And the itinerary should, on the day of departure, should say that. Yes, we have already arranged that separate transfer. Yes.
Great. How do you know if you have a seat assignment? My own air information does not mention any seat assignments.
Okay, on the tickets. Okay, if you're looking at the tickets, okay, it says the routing, and then under the routing, it gives your name and it gives the seat numbers and the ticket receipt. So it should have seats right under each leg of the journey. For example, I'm looking at something that says Dulles into Montreal. It then gives the passengers' names and it says 15A, 15B, and basically their ticket number. So you have to read down underneath the flight information.
Oh, it looks like this, Miss Albert does not have her ticket yet, so she is in discussions with Michelle.
She is what? I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, she's in discussions with Michelle.
Oh, okay.
She does
Okay,
not have her
that's-
ticket yet.
Got it. Okay. All right. But that's
Okay.
that's how it would look. So if you all look at your air ticket, that's how it reads. It reads the airline, where you're flying from to. It tells you the distance. It tells you, basically the kind of, service you have, if you have meals, if you have no meals. And then underneath that, it has your passenger name with your seat numbers and your e-ticket receipts. And again, this is then for the return, the same piece of paper.
So that's all the questions that are in the chat. If anybody has questions that they would like to ask, now's the time where you can take yourself off of mute if you'd like to ask any questions aloud.
I have one question. I'm
Okay.
coming from a separate airport, not Baltimore, or not Dulles, excuse me. Do I check myself in ahead of time?
You are just on an individual air
An
record?
individual. Mhm.
Yes, then you can do your check-in. You can do that prior. Absolutely.
Thank
It's
you.
the
And
group, it's the people who are on that group flight cannot do that.
okay, thank you. And I also do not have a seat on my first leg on my flight to Montreal, so I should check
Okay,
in.
then what I would like you to do is do exactly what I had said to call, and then we will take a look at that.
Anything
Thank
with
you.
them?
I signed up for this trip in October of 2023. I did not get a ticket. I did not get a daily itinerary. I did not get helpful hints. I'm really upset.
And I'm sorry, you are?
Claire Albert.
Claire
And
Albert.
I'm the one, when she was talking, and it talked about an electronic ticket, which to me meant on a cell phone, but she said, oh no, it's your written form, the Montreal and Quebec City Christmas own air information. She said, that's it. I don't think it is. I got 2 of them, but nothing else.
Okay, can you,
I
can
got,
you,
I mean,
let-
I'm upset.
okay, I'm sorry for that. I have no idea why that would have happened. Can I have, I have your phone number. I will
Okay.
check this with my operations division. They've already left for the day, and I will be back to you tomorrow morning.
Okay, tomorrow morning I'm leaving early to go to Delaware.
Okay, so you tell me when you want us to call you.
Okay, could you call me on my cell phone at
Of
410
course.
382
Wait a minute.
6857?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the number?
410 382
Mm-hmm.
6857. I don't know who stuffed my booklet here, but I mean, when would I have received the ticket in this package?
Everything should have been in the package. You should have.
I don't know who did mine, but having waited for this for a year, it's very upsetting.
Okay, I apologize. I have I'm not going to say that I don't know what happened, but I will certainly find out. I will
Okay.
certainly find out. And we will Federal Express it to you right away.
Okay.
But tell me a good time to call you tomorrow.
How about noon?
12 noon. Okay.
Because I'll be driving. So and
Okay.
I don't want to be upset while I'm driving.
No, I don't want that. Okay.
All right. And I didn't get helpful hints. I don't know whether you mentioned that. No, I didn't get that.
Okay. Well, everything that I went through, I will see that it's duplicated and sent to you.
Thank you.
Okay. And if you would like, I would be happy to go through this with you when you have some time, since you didn't have it in front of you.
I will. I'll take it with me to Delaware. That'll be fun. I have a home there, so it's
Okay.
And How long do you think this bus trip is from Newark to Owings Mills?
I'm sorry, the driving time?
Yeah. I was
Okay,
just-
Newark to Owings Mills. You are arriving, like, for example, into Newark at 1:48. We estimate you back into Owings Mill at 6 o'clock p.m.
Kristen was saying it'll be an hour. I said, no, I think not.
No, I thought you were talking about Newark, Delaware. That's
There
why.
is no Newark, Delaware. But
There is
Oh, I'm
actually.
sorry. I'm sorry.
there's
I
no
thought you were
airport
talking-
in Newark,
I
Delaware.
thought
I
you were
understand.
talking Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey.
I thought you lived in Newark, Delaware, Miss Albert. That's why I said that.
I live in Maryland. Thank you.
So,
Any other questions? Make sure that you unmute yourself to ask.
Unmute. Hi. Um,
Hi, Lynn.
I wondered about the global entry because I don't see anything on my itinerary or my departure information. And who do I call to add that in?
okay, you would call the MPT number that Kristen had given, and you would give the global entry number to one of our MPT agents, and then she would in turn call our air coordinator, and it would be put into the record.
Is that the 282-8738 number?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
What about the outlets? Electrical
outlets are-
outlets.
You're fine. You're fine. You
With-
don't need an adapter.
Okay.
You need a
Thanks.
hair dryer?
Sorry.
Do the hotels have
just-
hair dryers?
Hair dryers?
Everything is, these hotels are 5-star hotels. There's all kinds of amenities. I think you'll very, very much enjoy the hotel stays also.
Oh, I think so too.
Pat, I have a question. I've just noticed that my husband's last name is misspelled on the airline ticket. What do I do?
You call our MPT.
Call Michelle?
Yes, and we will get that taken
All
care of.
right. Okay, thank you.
Hello, chat.
Oh. Did you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I did. I was there or not. I have a question as well on my ticket coming back from Quebec City to Newark. I don't have a seat. It just says check-in required. Is that what?
Okay, again, we will take a look at that and see. I'm not sure why you don't have a seat, but we will see if we can secure a seat for you. Absolutely.
Okay. My
Just-
name's Elizabeth Young,
Okay.
and
See if
I have a seat. I have a seat going out, but I don't have one. It just
Oh.
says check-in required.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Could I ask one real quick question?
Absolutely.
We are having, my sister and I are having a driver pick us up at the MPT studio. Now, how would that person get in there to pick us up?
You mean when you come home?
Yes.
Yes. So I would recommend giving them your flight information just so that they can
Right.
track. That will give them a gauge of when they're going to depart to meet
Right.
the MPT. You will be able to get into the building again when you return.
Okay. I didn't know if there had to be any special thing filled out
No,
for them.
there's
get-
no gated driveway or anything. The individual will just be able to pull up and park their car in the parking lot to
Okay.
pick you up.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
I have a question. What time is Michelle in the office tomorrow?
10 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Will not be available. Any of our other team knows they are also schooled in Maryland Public Television's program. So any one of those ladies can help you. We have Meg, we have Kathy, very helpful. Audrey.
Great. Any other questions? Jerry, are you having difficulty unmuting?
I have a question.
Yes.
Will we be doing Christmas markets in Montreal? It doesn't indicate that.
In Montreal, you will have some free time on your own. The programmed part of it, as far as the Christmas markets is concerned, is in Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? The Chateau Frontenac sits on the hill, and it's right when you are like in the beautiful part of the historic district where all the shops are, beautiful decorations. You can look up and actually see your hotel. It sits like right above, where you will be walking in the historic district and the markets and things like that. I mean, it's a beautiful area. The shops there are amazing, and the decorations are breathtaking.
This is in Quebec City?
Yes, the Chateau
okay.
Frontenac. Yes, that's actually a historic hotel. Very old world. Very old world. Very charming.
Jerry, I am not able to unmute you. You would have to unmute yourself, but if you can certainly call tomorrow to ask your question, or if you wanted to type it in the chat, you could do that. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, well, I thank you very much. I will admit fully that I'm very jealous that I'm going to be there to greet you when you arrive at MPT, and that I'm going to stay behind while you all go enjoy a wonderful trip to Montreal and Quebec. Hopefully you have a great time. If anyone has any questions after this point, feel free to email me directly. If you want to, or if you feel free to email Michelle, we will certainly help you with anything that you need. Okay.
Thank you all for participating. Certainly, we've tried to be very thorough and give you a good overview of what to expect. Remember, it's going to be cold there, so dress accordingly. And certainly, rubber-soled shoes, boots are really the fashion statement of the day on this trip. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.